What's up, Hornets? Coach Dorston here. We've got workout number 1 coming at you. So what's going to happen with this? I'm going to be explaining to you kind of each exercise we have here. I'm not going to perform every set and every rep, but I am going to demonstrate each one so you have a pretty good idea of what we're going for. We do have the sets and reps going on at the very end of each exercise. You'll notice we have 1 through 5 and then a finisher. You'll notice number 4 and number 5 have an A exercise and a B exercise. That means we're having a superset, so we're going to do the A exercise first and then go to the B exercise and then repeat those. So the very first thing we're going to be doing is going through the warm-up. We've posted a video of part A and part B of the warm-up, and then we'll be getting into sprints. Now, sprints are going to be the only exercise on here that I do want you to really try to go for about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes of rest in between each sprint. Then we're going to be going 3-second eccentric squats. So with that, we have 3 by 6 to 8. You can either use body weight, or I'm going to show you a couple different variations of ways that you can add some weight to it depending on the equipment that you have at home. Then we've got Nordic hamstring curls, 3 sets of 5. I'll kind of show you a good way to get your feet nice and set so we can do these. And then we've got push-ups paired with single arm rows. Again, push-ups, pretty self-explanatory. Single arm rows, I'll give you some ideas of what you can do at home. Then we have single arm overhead carries, and we have side planks. And then we're finishing it off with 1 minute of jump squats, and you're recording the amount of reps that you have. So let's get into it. So we've already gone through our warm-up at this point, and the very first thing that we're going to be doing is going with our sprints. So kind of how I demonstrated in the warm-up video, we're going with 20-yard sprints, so we have to kind of count off space for this. So give yourself plenty of room for both the sprint and also to slow down afterwards. I know I've talked to many of you before about not just slamming your feet to slow down. We want to give ourselves plenty of space. So think about, if we're doing 20 yards of sprints, you want about 20 to 30 yards after that to where you can slow down. Try to find a nice straight, either sidewalk if you can. If you have plenty of yard space close to you, use that, but just make sure you're being really careful if you're using your yards, if there's not any rocks, divots, anything like that. So again, easy way to kind of count off our spots. Find something, if you have cones, if you have like a rock or something like that, dog toys, we're going to try to count off our spots. So find your initial point, and then obviously I don't have as much room through here, but again, we're just taking nice big steps, counting out about 20 of those, and then making sure after that you have plenty of room to go through to slow down. So make sure with the sprints, with these, unless your coach has told you a specific way they want you to do sprints, I either want you starting off tall or down in a 3-point stance to get ready for that. And then we're taking off. Make sure that you're getting a nice solid acceleration out, and then giving yourself plenty of room to slow down afterwards. From there, we're going to go into 3-second eccentric squats. Remember, after the sprints, give yourselves a little time in between, and especially between the sprints, again, we're going for that 1.5 to 2 minute rest period right there. So then going into our 3-second eccentric squats. If you are just able to do body weight, so going down, 1, 2, 3, exploding up, that's fine. Again, with these, we want to make sure that our feet are about shoulder width apart, toes kind of straight forward. I don't care if they angle out a little bit, but then we want to think about sitting back on our heels, trying to keep our chest nice and tall, going down 3 seconds, and then pop them back up. So with this, if that's pretty easy for you, with body weight and everything, try to find some kind of weight that you have. I do have a kettlebell here, so I don't know if you have kettlebells, dumbbells at home, but we can go into the goblet hold, going down, 1, 2, 3, popping back up. 3 by 6 to 8 of that. If you don't have conventional weight, you can find something else. So I've got a backpack right here. I found some rocks. You can use books, rocks, anything to kind of add some weight to the implement. But I'm putting my rocks inside my backpack here. Again, with this, be smart with it. Don't tear up your backpacks. See if you're allowed to use something like that. If you have a bucket, something where you can just hold, again, anything to just kind of add some weight to it. So I got it nice and tight, nice and tall, feet set up, core nice and tight, sitting back my heels, 1, 2, 3, popping back up, down, 1, 2, 3, back up. Again, just trying to find something if you need to add a little extra weight to it. Then we're going to be we're trying to go through all 3 sets of the squats, and then we're going to be moving into our Nordic hamstring curls. So for this, if you have somebody at home that can hold your ankles, that's fantastic. If not, try to find something that's sturdy, very sturdy, to wedge kind of your feet and your ankles under. Whether that's a heavy couch, bed, weight bench, anything like that you might have at home. So with this, we're trying to keep our core nice and tight, glutes or our butt engaged, staying nice and tall. And I do want you to think about slightly pinching your shoulder blades together on this. Have your hands out in front of you, ready to go. And then from here, we're trying to lower ourselves down as far and as slow as we can until you can't really go anymore, pushing yourself back up. But I want you to push yourself up in a way where you're still using kind of that hamstring, that glute area to help you back up. We have 3 sets of 5 of those. Then we'll get into our first superset. So with this, we're going to go push-ups, 3 by 8 to 10, and then we have single arm dumbbell rows, 3 by 6 to 8. So with the push-ups, obviously with this, we can go down. I want core nice and hands about shoulder width apart, a little outside of that, getting nice firm grip on the ground. I almost want you to think of grabbing the ground with your fingers a little bit. We're going up, and I want you to think of engaging that core, just like we've done in our warm-ups, squeezing our glutes together, and then you should think of this like a moving plank. So we're going down, back up, down, back up. Staying nice and tight through the whole movement. If you're unable to perform a regular push-up, try to find an elevated surface to make it somewhat difficult, but you're able to maintain that form. So whether that's a couch, a sturdy couch, a really heavy ottoman, steps right here. If I put my hands up higher and go down, that's easier, but I'm still getting the exercise down. So then we'll have a set there, then we'll be going into our rows. So again, I don't know if you have any dumbbells, kettlebells, anything like that. Again, I have my backpack here, and I've shortened up the straps on the back side of it. Also using like a milk jug, a water jug for this can also work. But find yourself a spot where you can kind of lean over with it, get a nice firm grip, and then we're trying to pull our elbow back towards our hip. Stay nice and tight with it. This is a little long for me, so I'm just going to bunch it up a little more, grabbing, pulling back, trying to make sure our shoulder blades are nice and pulled down and back towards our hips. And then at the top, think about pinching that shoulder blade towards the other one. And then back down. If you need to, you can hold it for a second. Try to make those nice and controlled, nice and slow. So we go back and forth between the push-up to row, 3 times through that. Then our last exercise is here. We're going to have a single arm overhead carry. So with this, I'm grabbing my book bag again, dumbbell, kettlebell. Even if I grabbed one of these rocks out of there, jug of some sort overhead, that's fine. Just be really careful and be really smart with this. So we're grabbing, I'm putting the backpack overhead, and I'm trying to get my arm nice and straight going up. We want to think about constantly reaching for the sky, reaching for the ceiling with this. I like to put my other hand kind of right on my stomach to make sure that I'm contracting that core, so core nice and tight. Think about pushing that belly button towards our low back. And then with this, we're just walking. Nice controlled, nice and slow. With this one, we're trying to go for 30 seconds on each arm. So I don't care if you just kind of walk back and forth, but I do want you to have a slight movement to this. So even if it's just me going a couple steps and then turning around, a couple steps, go as long as you can until you reach that 30-second mark. Again, be smart with the weight that you're using. Then, after we get both sides with that, we're going to go into our side planks. So we covered this in the warm-up video, but real quick, thinking about creating a straight line with our body. Shoulder should be, or our elbow should be right under our shoulder. Again, we don't want it too far out or too far in. Forearm should be nice and flush on the ground. And then with this, again, this is kind of a moderate portion. If you need to make it easier, just go knees. Make sure we're keeping a nice straight line. Don't let our hips go too far back, too far forward. If you want something a little more difficult, going straight out, and then we're lifting a leg. Nice controlled with that. And that is going to be 3 sets of 30 seconds on each side as well. And then for our last thing, we're going to have squat jumps. So make sure you have a timer, set the timer on your phone, whichever we're going a minute here. It doesn't matter to me if you have your arms straight out in front or kind of crossed behind your head, but I want you to still think of a nice squat form, going down, chest nice and tall, jumping up, and you should be pretty continuous. Make sure when you're doing these, when you're coming down, we're still getting plenty of range of motion through those hips and those knees. You got a minute of those, record them. We'll be sending them to your coach. I hope you guys enjoy this workout, and go Hornets. Everyone stay safe. Thanks.